I think these guys have cracked the secret to show business. Give your audience $3 million.
In today's episode, we're pulling the curtain all the way back on 2013's Now You See Me. We want to know how an all-star cast became master magicians and fooled an entire division of the FBI while performing miracles on a lush Las Vegas stage.
Tonight, we are going to rob a bank.
We're going to discuss what the movie is, how it got made, and even why star Isla Fisher refused to return for the sequel.
Yeah. All I was thinking about was me on the autopsy table, bloated in a swimming costume with heels, and how humiliating that would be.
We're about to get into all of it, so let's go. The art of the heist movie is a delicate thing. It's not enough to stuff a handful of celebrities in an extravagant location and give them a big bag of sexy money. You have to innovate, give your team incredible stakes with minimal odds while inventing a charming and witty dynamic between the characters. Oh, and of course, yeah, you're gonna want that bag of sexy money. In the case of Now You See Me, Summit Entertainment commissioned a script from Ed Solomon, Bose Yakin, and Edward Rycourt, which saw 4 magicians take center stage as our heist artist.
What? I don't think I heard you correctly. Did you say magicians?
I gotta admit, the concept of using sleight of hand to pull off robberies is compelling, isn't it? Well, Lionsgate Entertainment certainly thought so, as they picked up distribution for the film and released it in theaters in 2013, boasting a significant cast with Jesse Eisenberg,
Henley,
Woody Harrelson,
cocktails,
Isla Fisher, Dave Franco, Mark Ruffalo, and Morgan Freeman.
Wow, that's incredible.
The film follows 4 independent magicians who each have their own specific skills. We've got Eisenberg's J. Daniel Atlas, who are typical narcissistic stage illusionist with experience in The Big Show. There's Woody Harrelson as Merrick McKinney, an eccentric, down-on-his-luck hypnotist and mentalist with a successful bribery scam.
If by has been you're referring to me, I just want to say I'm flattered because I always considered myself never was.
Can't forget about Isla Fisher, our resident escape artist with all the talent of Houdini, but the looks of, well, her.
Cheap and meaningless sex.
Cheap and meaningless, maybe, but not time-consuming.
And to round out the cast is Dave Franco as Jack, a street magician with sticky fingers. These performers are all great on their own, making their money the hard way, but making it nonetheless. That is until a mysterious entity slips each of them an invitation to form a band of robbers known only as the 4 Horsemen.
We are the 4 Horsemen!
Good night!
Good night!
While the organization that recruited these magicians and whoever's behind it will remain a mystery for most of the movie, we are given some hints that some of our supporting characters might know more than they're letting on. Enter Morgan Freeman as Thaddeus Bradley, a well-known magician debunker who built his career off of exposing magic tricks and their methods to the masses.
Oops.
While the Horsemen are performing on stages in Vegas, they somehow are simultaneously robbing banks in France, which is something that they don't really attempt to conceal because, simply, how could anyone prove it wasn't just a magic trick? Well, that's not gonna stop the always lovable Mark Ruffalo as Detective Dylan Rhodes from exhausting all of his resources to blow the case wide open.
And we encourage him to do so if he has the brains and the fur.
And the cat and mouse game is afoot.
Get all over me, because the closer you think you are, the less you'll actually see.
I'm gonna nail you.
Now, in typical heist movie fashion, the film itself is full of entertaining sequences ranging from simple pickpocketing to straight-up wizardry at multiple points.
Thank you so much for coming by, but this is kind of a talent-only area, so...
And with that comes the unfortunate side of this exciting concept. While audiences love to see magic tricks and arguably enjoy them more when they're being used to rob banks, it would seem that the writers and director Louis Leterrier may have overlooked some of the logic of these heists and taken it a step into the impossible.
Unless, of course, what you're trying to say to me is that you actually don't know how they did it.
I don't know about you guys, but one thing I love about heist movies is that there's this sliver of me that believes I could pull something like that off. Well, that's pretty much gone here, even if you're a magician.
Is that how Jesus did it? That's incredible.
See, while a high-level idea like illusionists who knock over banks is fun to play with, the film seemed to prioritize flash over function, with the illusionists bordering on superhuman as opposed to practical magicians.
This is a weird way for you to find out.
This made for a fun romp at the movies, bringing in more than $350 million on a humble studio budget of $75 million. And that's really the thing with summer blockbusters like Now You See Me and how they differ from something like Ocean's 11. While both are pretty much impossible, Ocean's 11 is planted on methods that are plausible, where this movie is just having fun with the idea and counting on us to suspend the disbelief a little bit.
Just having fun.
And with talks of Now You See Me 3 being in the works, it's safe to say that at the very least, there is some level of interest in heading out to the movies for another adventure with our 4 horsemen. But on that topic, we have to talk about the horsemen that didn't return for the second film, and will likely not be around for the third one. That's right, folks, we're gonna talk about the Isla Fisher incident.
Whoever thought of this is a sick sadist!
The film began shooting in January 2012 in New Orleans and went until March the same year. During that time, the cast trained with real magicians like legendary card manipulators Dan and Dave Buck, Eric Jones, and Darren Brown. However, no amount of practice could have prepared Isla Fisher for the shock and fear of almost drowning to death on set. According to the actress, while filming a scene in which her character is locked in a water tank, she was actually locked in a water tank. As it turns out, the chain on her cuffs got stuck, which didn't allow her to break free and reach her escape latch. This caused her to panic and nearly drown until a stunt professional noticed and pulled the emergency hatch to release her.
Even though I had a quick release magnetic, thing on my handcuffs, the chain that went between my ankles and my wrists was not able to be broken, and it got stuck underneath the slat, and I was trapped. And yeah, I was very scared, and I was banging and saying, set me free, but everyone just thought I was doing fabulous acting.
Luckily, she survived the ordeal and turned in a stellar performance, but she understandably declined to return for the next film in order to avoid being in any more dangerous situations.
A rose by any other name.
And in Now You See Me 2, to replace Isla Fisher as the femme fatale of the group, Lizzie Kaplan entered the production to add a layer of humor and mystery to the franchise.
Okay.
Who exactly can we expect for the third film? Well, that's anyone's guess, but I hope to see at least most of this cast return.
Really?
Yep.
So, has the studio heist film that is this movie managed to stack up to the classics of its kind? Well, no, I wouldn't call this movie a classic, but if you're looking for a harmless, high-concept heist or some truly and literally unbelievable magic, check this one out before the next one hits screens or stages this year. And I guess that's what the f*** happened to Now You See Me.
Isn't that funny? And I thought you didn't believe in magic.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.